Welcome back to Running Your Best Life. I'm Victor Vizcaino, your host, and today we are doing something runners always love to do after a race recap. This past weekend, we raced the Antelope Valley Ultra in Page, Arizona. And let me tell you, this is not your typical half marathon. I went into the race thinking I might finish around 2 hours, but the terrain had other ideas. It was true desert trail race, rocks uneven footing, and something I did not expect at all: sand dunes, lots of sand.
Victor, I am so excited. Why don't you tell us where you and Crystal both raced? Y'all did it on your own times, but why don't you tell everybody? Y'all, I saw the pictures. It's beautiful. Where did you do this race and describe the environment and the terrain to us all? Because it is amazing, y'all. You got to listen to this.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you, Adele, and welcome. Uh, it's nice to see you. Great, great. Yes, the Antelope Valley Endurance Race is what it's called, and it's in
Hmm.
Page, Arizona, and it was on last Saturday, March 7th. Kind of cold. Things around probably it was 35 degrees when we got up, but then when we started racing, it was around 45 degrees.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
temperature is still pleasant. It still feels chilly. I wore a couple of layers of shirts, a
Mm-hmm.
beanie, and hydration because there's only two water stations, I believe. And
Okay.
so I made sure I took my Camelback
Right.
race.
Right.
And like I said earlier, I planned to do around 2 hours, but I didn't expect those sand dunes to be so hard
That was
for
on the second
anybody.
half of the race, though, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, towards the second half of the race, it was
Okay.
the thing.
Okay.
But even the first part was a little bit more challenging than I thought. But I thought, okay, I can still do it because at some point it's going to get flat, or there's going to be even some downhill. I'll be able to
Okay.
make it up. But once I got into those sand dunes, it is. I don't know if any of you or if you, Adele, has ever run in sand.
I try not to run in the sand. I will walk all day along the beach, the shoreline, but on the hard sand, I don't like having my shoes because I think if I sink, which I had done years ago, you sink, you lose your footing, you can pull and get stuck, and then all of a sudden you pull the hamstring, you get pull the calf muscles, whatever. So I will walk barefooted now. I used to run a little bit on the shoreline when it was on the hard sand, but I won't anymore just because
Oh
of the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's really difficult. Even walking can be challenged
Hmm.
on the sand. And I
Right.
was trying to run where I was trying to find the more solid parts when I was
Mm,
running when it was flat. But
right.
then there were some steep hills where you're going up and it's still sand, and
Okay.
that's then you're walking, and then okay,
Yeah.
now my average is around 18-minute miles. It's like, okay, this is going to be a very, very long
Okay.
race because those hills were long.
So when you say the steep hill, so I think you described to me before we started recording that you actually ran the perimeter of the canyon, so you're at the top. So how far down did you start, and how high did you have to climb to really get to some of the flatter areas of the perimeter?
I I didn't get the measurements from the
Okay.
graph of the course, but definitely was a I would say a descent of about 500 feet
Okay. Okay.
descent altogether, and then up, and just kind of going up and down in parts of the canyon.
Okay. And
Mm.
and the sand was on the down slop, the back end, so you're going back down a little bit on that sand area, right?
Yeah, but we did both. So you on
Oh,
some
okay.
areas you go down on solid rock and get to the bottom where it's sand. In other parts, you're going down on the sand and actually coming back up with sand. And
You two are so brave, and everybody else in that race is brave. How many people do you think were there? Because you described to me that there's different distances as well as the ultra 50-mile distance as well. So, what were the distances available? And you and Crystal both conquered the half marathon distance.
yes, and I think just on the half marathon alone, which is probably the biggest one, it was
Okay.
about I think it was about 500 people,
Okay. Okay.
and And then the other ones, no, maybe less. I'm sorry. It should have been probably between 150 to 200.
Okay.
But
Okay.
altogether, I don't know. And because they started earlier, and I usually
Yeah.
ask about these things, but I'm sure it's on the website as far as
Okay.
any
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
people are.
And all kinds of people were doing this event. Like,
Oh, yes.
okay, young people, old people, people like us in kind of our middle years and experience, and some newbies. When I say newbies, maybe this was the first time they conquered this kind of course. So, and how
Yeah.
exciting is that? How exciting.
Very exciting. I don't think there's too many newbies, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
It does
Okay.
take a little bit. It takes a little, I think, a little bit more endurance than when you do something flat.
Right. Right.
And definitely, if anybody's thinking of doing a trail race for the first time, is you definitely shouldn't be worried about time.
Right. Exactly. Did
Uh,
y'all wear your regular running shoes, or did you have the trail, like the gripper?
Crystal had trail shoes. I
Okay.
didn't have a pair of trail shoes, but I seem to be doing well. I grew up in a small village in Mexico, which I
Hmm.
used to herd goats and everything. So I am I'm good on the rocky and down the hill because I was
Right.
noticing there was a spot where we're
Mhm.
coming down these rocks that people were sitting down and sliding. They were so it's that because once that
Really?
rock gets if it gets dust on it, it can be very slippery.
Oh,
But
wow.
as long as there's not dust on it, you can kind of walk on it very
Get your
careful.
footing. Okay.
Yeah, get a little bit of grip with your shoes. But
Okay.
if there's sand on it, you're gonna slide on on the dust.
Oh my gosh. Well,
So yeah.
most people, yeah, well, most people layered up a little bit, and then because you said it was about 45 degrees, I'm assuming there's not a lot of shaded areas, right? Because you're
Oh
going
no.
to, okay, going uphill and you're in a canyon. So really the coolest part's going to be at the bottom of the canyon where the
Yeah.
river
And
or the
the
water
parts of
is.
the canyon that we were doing were like wide. So that
Okay.
wasn't it was more like a valley than the actual canyon. I'm calling it a canyon because you're around the canyon, but some of those were more like looked more like a valley. That's
Okay.
how wide it was. And
Oh,
they're just
wow.
big dunes of
Oh.
sand. And the other challenge was finding the little flags. Uh,
Oh, for the course direction.
yeah, um, that's so I ended up with 13.8 miles on my
Oh,
Strava
okay.
instead of
Okay.
13.1. So I
Got a
ran
little
almost three
distracted.
quarters of a mile more. And I went back to walk with Crystal, and as I'm going back, everybody was saying, "Oh, I got a little lost. I got a little lost," and it's like, yeah, everybody did. Almost everybody got, even if it's just a little bit, because on the sand dunes, you don't know if you can't find the flag, you're looking for the flag, so you're still doing a few more miles because you don't know if you're supposed to go
Right,
to the left, to the right, and how to. Uh, do you go around the sand dunes? Do you go straight up and down and go to the next flag?
right,
It wasn't
right.
very clear.
See, that's gotta be one of the very unique characteristics of that race. Well, we're not gonna put all the flags out, so people will get lost, but let them have a good time while they're being lost,
Yeah.
right? It's
Maybe
not something
more
you're
of a
really gonna
strategy.
worry about too much because there are people still around you to get you back where you need to go, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very open. So if you ever got completely lost, it probably helicopter could come and spot you pretty.
Y'all, yeah, I want our listeners to appreciate that comment because the beauty of that comment is we are going to have this experience. We're going to be out there as runners, conquering this distance, but conquering the environment and the course. And you know what? There's helicopters around. They'll save people if they don't go get back to the finish line. I love that. I mean, I love the concept of something completely new. And I mentioned to Victor a little earlier one of the beauties of knowing the environment that he and Crystal went to do this event in, this is probably a major hiking destination for people who enjoy hiking, not necessarily running a race, but hiking that kind of terrain. And Victor shared that, yes, that's true, but they also have the water area. So when the summer comes, it's a major water sports environment as well. So y'all, this is a beautiful place. It's called Antelope Canyon, right? Antelope
Antelope Canyon,
Canyon.
yeah, and around Page, Arizona.
Okay.
There's a huge dam there. and
Okay.
water sports are done around the dam. And then
Okay.
there's the big reservation, and that's
Okay.
where some of the tours are. They have that Antelope Canyon tours that are
Okay.
amazing. I mean, we did one. It takes about an hour to do that, where you're going down the crevice and you go inside. It's about, I'm going to say about 15 feet, 20
Okay.
feet,
Okay. Okay.
and just the pictures don't. You, I'm going to post pictures on
Okay.
the footnotes and the description, but they don't do it service. You have to go in person
Right.
and
You have to see it. You have to see it.
see it and
Well,
feel it and everything.
how cool is it when you do the canyon tour, the interior, like you're describing? Is it
You
really,
know,
really cool in there?
yeah,
Okay.
in March, I'm sure it
Yeah. Yeah.
changes when it's
Yeah.
super hot, because, but in March, and we were lucky because the wind wasn't blowing too hard, because
Okay.
when they said when
Okay.
the wind is blowing really hard, the dust will go into the crevice and you're
Oh,
dealing with a lot of dust.
right.
But
Right.
this time
Right.
it perfect. The sun was perfect. Our tour was amazing. She kept taking everybody's phone and make doing the pictures for you, because she knew what angles to do,
Right. 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 Right.
perfect
Right.
lighting, and she knew how to do the settings to get the perfect lighting to
Oh, wow. Well, I
mm,
know, y'all, if you follow Victor on his Facebook feed or Crystal on hers, the pictures are really amazing. And the only thing I could compare it to a personal experience is we went on a hiking 5 national parks in Utah, and this was May of 2022, I believe. Yeah, 2022. Larry, my very, very special friend Joyce, and we were with 11 people in our group and two tour guides. And when we went through the arches and Bryce Canyon, and we hiked the last day through um, Zion Canyon there with Zion National Park, the beauty of the mountains around us is the only thing I've experienced to compare to what Victor is speaking about. Y'all go to his site, look at the pictures that he's going to post on our podcast. But it's absolutely beautiful, and I think y'all had an opportunity to see the sun come up one morning too. Was that race day?
yes, yeah,
Okay, okay, and that's just it's something that if you don't experience it, add that on your bucket list, because regardless of where you go, to see this kind of natural environment, and Victor will explain a little bit, it's from the water erosion. You can't imagine it until you actually
yeah.
experience it.
And the thing is that it takes millions of years to create that,
Mm.
millions of years. And I think she said that each line, there's a bunch of lines on the,
Yes, yes,
and
okay.
that each line is like a million years or
Oh my
something like
gosh.
that.
Oh
So
my gosh.
when you're in that
Okay.
presence, and to think how long it took to create this, to Mother
Right,
Nature to create that,
right. Oh
uh,
my.
and every time the water comes down and it erodes it, it polishes the walls in such a
Oh,
way that it's amazing. And there's figures that start to show up, and the tour will tell you, look for there's one that's the most famous, is Lady in the Wind. So it looks like
oh,
a lady, her hair's blowing, and you can see
okay.
the shape of her nose and everything, and it's just like, oh
Oh,
wow.
wow.
And
Y'all, now you know what you want to do. And you want to, whether you race or hike or just go for walks in some of these environments, y'all got to do it. I did want to ask Victor, not only the environment and the beauty of the course and the toughness of the terrain of the course. One of my questions is, how did you dress? You said you layered up, but did you get really warm in that open environment on the top of the canyon where you could strip down like a lot of runners will usually do as they get
yes,
further? Okay, you were able to do
Chris,
that?
yeah, Crystal took her jacket and then she
Okay.
just tied it on her waist
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
halfway.
yeah.
I just had two like long sleeve shirts like this,
Okay,
you know,
okay,
two layers of that. I wore mine, and I wore my beanie the whole time. I wore
okay,
my gloves the whole time. I
okay.
could have taken them off, but I didn't want to deal with where I'm gonna put them
Right, right,
and they're
right.
gonna fall. So they weren't in the way, but I was sweating. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beanie was making me sweat, but I thought, you know what? I like to sweat, so keep it on.
Well, and my question would be, was the sun beating down on y'all, not just the change in the temperature? Did you have a lot of sun, like no cover, no shade?
You did, but at this time of year, you don't feel it.
Okay, right,
It
right.
just feels good to
Yeah,
have.
it feels good because you've cold, your body's a little cold.
Yeah.
So my question now, after running 13.8 miles
Yes.
on a very difficult terrain, you're now about 48 hours, well, almost 72 hours post race. How's your body feeling? Because it takes more on your body than just a flat course running at a fairly quick pace. How's your body feeling today?
Today feels good. It feels like it's
Okay.
ready to do a workout. I haven't worked out today, but I'm going to do it in a little bit,
Okay.
and it
Okay.
feels ready.
Good.
Yesterday felt really tired. We did work out. We did a little bit of bike
Okay.
and some swim, but you could feel it. You could feel that it
Right.
was still on recovery mode. So
Right.
we took it easy on the bike. Yes, because it is difficult terrain and the body, we're not used to that kind of
Right.
terrain.
Right.
Mm, and we've been working out quite a bit on, preparing for the Ironman,
Hmm.
but not in that kind of terrain. So you
Right.
feel that difference of different muscles, different aches and pains, and here and there. So it's just listening to the body, making sure we did some yoga on Sunday.
Good.
We
Good. Good.
we've been stretching and making sure we don't push anything too hard because it's still
Right.
in recovery. And
Right.
we have another race coming up next Sunday. Uh,
Is this coming like in a few days or in two
yes,
weeks?
we have
Okay.
the Shamrock Shuffle on March 15,
Okay.
where
So,
I wanted to do PR. Now I'm like, okay, we'll see how well I've recovered by that
right.
time.
Right.
Mm,
How long is this race you're going to do? Because that's one of the Irish St. Patrick's Shamrock runs. How long
Yes,
is it? Is it a
it's a
half
half a
marathon?
marathon.
Oh, it is another half.
And
Okay.
that's the one I wanted to do hour and 40 minutes. But
Yeah.
if it's not possible because my body may not feel
Right.
recovered, then I'll
Right.
take it easy. I won't worry too much about it because we just registered for one in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Crystal's have friends and she went to the University of Oklahoma. So she wants to do the Oklahoma half marathon
Okay.
and April 26th, I believe. Mm,
Okay. She's got a lot of things coming up. Almost every weekend there's an event. I
yeah.
know I know the first couple of weeks in April, one you're doing something on the week of the 11th, which is her birthday weekend.
Yeah, we're doing
Um,
Napa 70.3 mile triathlon race
right,
in
right.
Napa. Then we have this right after that, we go
Yeah,
to Oklahoma and do that half marathon.
yeah.
Mm,
Where is the one in Oklahoma? Which city?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma
Mhm.
City? Because I had done, and I said this before, they do the memorial for the
Yep,
bombing.
that is
And
the.
they, yeah, I think they do it in October. I think that's the race they do in October, and
Oh,
they do a half and a full. I believe
well,
it's
this one was,
October.
I think it was also called a memorial, and I think that
Okay.
because they take donations for
Okay, so maybe
memorial.
this is the one that she's doing. Um, because I had registered for it years and years ago, the very, very first one, the inaugural one.
Oh,
My kids were young, something prevented me from going, but the race director, I said, don't reimburse me at all. Put it toward the donations for they didn't even have the memorial yet. They were,
oh, they're going to
you know,
start.
of course, it's many, many years ago now, but, and she sent me the T-shirt, and she sent me a memorial medal because she knew I was running anyway, but the beauty of that is you're doing something for a cause,
Yeah.
and when you do that, you're okay with putting your body through a little bit more pressure, but the back-to-back races that Crystal and Victor are doing, y'all, they're getting ready for the big things coming up in June, because I think June is when you wanna
Yes.
try to qualify for Boston, correct?
Yes, I want to
Okay.
qualify for Boston at the end of June, and
Okay.
Crystal's doing her first 70.3 Coeur d'Alene marathon. So that's on the 21st, and I believe
Okay.
towards the end of June is
Okay.
the Missoula Marathon. I want to
Is
qualify
the one you're
there.
gonna do, right? In Missoula, Montana, right?
That's right.
Missoula? Yeah, and,
Yes.
that's supposed to be gorgeous. You've been there before, have you?
Yes, I've done it before, and that
Yeah,
is my PR by Ever
right,
PR. It
right, right.
is. 3 hours and 1 minute, which
Okay.
I'll never get close to again.
We were a little
Yes,
older, Victor, since you've done that. We were a little bit older. Thank you, my love.
quite a bit, but it would be nice just to be able to qualify. Um,
So I want to sidetrack just a little bit, y'all, because what you're listening to with the training schedule that Victor and Crystal have, they have obviously just a few months left to their actual goal event, right?
a race.
So, yeah, they're pushing hard on a lot of these weeks, and then they're having a slower week on their training to recuperate and recover. So, what they're recovering from is a very difficult terrain, but obviously an incredible experience. They both completed their races, so they're taking a little bit of rest time or recovery time, but they're not stopping the training program. What they're going to find is when they go through these slower, less intensive weeks and then pick up to the more intensive training weeks as they get closer to their events, what they're going to be doing is tapering down. And Victor and I and Crystal have discussed this, but they're pushing because when they get to their event, their body's going to be accustomed to what they have to do. Their bodies are going to be ready, their mind, their heart, their spirit that's already there. It's just going to be so much more exaggerated because they've made it to their event with smart training. So, what they're doing, I think Tuesdays sometimes is your hard days, but today's not going to be as difficult a day as normally because this is a little bit less of a week for to recover and be ready for next weekend.
Yeah.
Y'all pay attention to the point I'm making. When you have a training program, obviously Victor has Crystal on a training program to achieve her goal. Crystal's added more and more to it, obviously, because she wants some more experiences. Victor knows how to train for Ironman. He knows how to train for the 70.3, the 140, everything else, and the marathon. If you have the goal or the desire to get to this point, remember they've got a lot of experience, especially Victor. That's why he is coaching Crystal strategically so she's not injured, strategically so that she understands how much time she needs to be doing things with her body through the course of achieving her Ironman, her Ironman in June. So understand that this is not something you and I are going to do every day of the week, right?
Yeah.
I've done this kind of training before. I'm now a little bit past that in my life, in my fitness and my running, biking, swimming goals. However, understand that. So if you have the idea you want to do this one of these for the first time, dial into the EYM coaching program. Dial into the things that Crystal and I can offer you on the mentoring and the nutrition side. But dial in and get the kind of information you need so that you understand what you're going to be doing. Right? Don't do
Yes.
this kind of stuff from the very beginning.
No,
Right?
and
So
in her case, I feel like I'm definitely specializing on
right, right, right,
people with metabolic disease, which is very different. So I'm learning quite a bit,
right.
and everybody's different, and her condition is also unique. So I'm
Right.
getting to learn a lot of how to recover, how to
Hmm.
what things we need to do to minimize inflammation.
Right.
Her
Right.
condition has lipedema and lymphedema, which are both metabolic
Right.
diseases and have to do with the lymphatic system.
Right.
And so, if anybody has that and wants some specialized coaching, I'm definitely getting a lot of experience with that
Good.
and
Good.
being able to coach in an individual basis
Right.
and based a lot of the recovery. I'm still trying to use what you were referring to, the periodization, where
Right.
3 weeks
Right.
of hard, 1 week of low. But within those weeks, I'm paying very close attention how the body's reacting
Hmm.
to the workouts, whether they're experiencing a lot of inflammation and not. And I'm also learning a lot from Crystal, but Crystal specializes in nutrition,
Right.
and
Right.
and her nutrition is very specific to her condition. So
Right.
I get to learn also and experiment what causes more inflammation, what causes less inflammation,
Right.
and she has it really well dialed in. She likes to know exactly what she's going to be eating for the week, what she's going to be
Hmm.
taking at the race, after the race to recover, and even to travel. You know, we were talking about
Right.
flying.
Right.
If we can get there a few days before the race, so that sometimes flying causes, well, it causes inflammation on everybody, but
Right. Right. Right.
especially with her. Mm,
Right.
and that was one of the things that for example, we're going to the Napa Valley, and I told her I'm just going to drive over there, and I thought she would fly because of her work schedule. But he said no, I want to drive too because it causes less inflammation in my body.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
and
Well,
she,
and I think one of the points too to make in this, y'all, when we have these goals and you have a unique nutritional or like diabetes, I mean, you coach Sam and you have to be very wary of Sam's needs and how he manipulates monitoring his sugar, monitoring, his glucose levels. And, there were issues. He had to learn how to do it. So did I. I had to learn how to do that too, from the very beginning with the tennis and the running and everything else I was doing because of the hypoglycemia and the low blood sugar, not to exacerbate it. But the key is, y'all, the more we learn as experienced runners, the more we learn about our bodies as well and the people that we work with. I have a young lady, Victor was talking about Crystal specific and unique needs. He is not experienced in those kind of things, right? But he's learning so much that he can adapt to his training on nutrition and hydration and to prevent him maybe acquiring something with the inflammation. He knows how to treat it. Same thing on my end. Crystal made some great points on the nutrition side when we met with her and did our podcast 2 weeks ago. Y'all pay attention when you want to do something. It's not just learning how to take one step in front of the other. It's not just learning how to ride a bike. It's not just learning the swim strokes. You really have to pay attention to what your body's unique specific needs are. If you are a young, vibrant adult who wants to learn how to run a marathon and you've got everything working in your favor, we're going to help you do that without causing you injury because that would be your biggest problem, your biggest thing to prevent. If you have some unique needs, like a woman going through menopause or has some, metabolism issues, you want to address how your body can uniquely achieve the goals through your training program, right?
yeah.
And it's the whole thing that we offer y'all, not just the skills of putting one foot in front of the other. You've got to understand the mental and the physical and the spiritual part of what you're trying to achieve. So that's one of the things that I want to make a point when you go and send us questions. Let us know what you're interested in because this is hardcore stuff that Victor's talking about, and this terrain and this experience that they just did. This is not something you're going to do as your first race, right? Even if it's a
Yes.
2 mile or 5K, right?
And one of
Yeah.
the discoveries I want to mention is that by me using the same nutrition that she's doing, I'm
Mhm.
benefiting because none of
Right.
what she does is harmful to me. Even the stuff
Right.
that I avoid, it's like, oh, so if somebody's interested in, for example, losing weight when they're training and
Hmm.
maintaining a healthy weight or an ideal weight for their performance, then I'm going to be really good at some suggestions because
Right.
the same
Right.
thing that
Right.
works for her works for all of us, for most of us. It's just
Right.
that they're more, with her condition, she's more, um, it affects her
Right.
more.
Differently. Right.
It affects her
Differently.
differently. And yeah, and more sensitive. That's what
Right.
I mean.
Right.
She's more sensitive to certain things that cause inflammation, but they
Right.
cause inflammation in all of us. They're just not as much.
Right. Well, and I'll tell you, I know we're going to be signing off in just a little bit, y'all. But I want to make a point to Victor too. I have a race coming up that I've done for 45 years, and it's the 10K. I got my Crescent City Classic shirt on today. But last week, I was experiencing some knee issues, and I'm addressing them. I don't know if I'll be able to run walk like my plan has been, which I've been on my training program really since January with the cycling and the swimming and all the regular programs that I do. But it's something very specific in my mind. Inflammation is a huge component of everybody's lifestyles, right?
Yes.
Whether you're an athlete or not. And I had to correct my PCP doctor yesterday as I was talking to her about getting a referral for an MRI on my knee. I want to make sure there's no damage or anything starting, because if there's anything starting, I want to address it in a certain way. If there's any damage, I want to address that a different way, right? But she made a comment. And I'm 68, and I guess this is a way that that maybe the doctors look at the older patients, especially in your Medicare PCPs. But the biggest thing is she said, "Well, you're kind of like an athlete trying to." I said, "No, no, no. I'm going to stop you. I am an athlete, and if you are an athlete or not, you want to do the best you can to take care of your body, so that you can have a great, happy, unique, and vibrant lifestyle. But as an athlete, we have a special mindset, and our mindset is." This is what I do every day of my life, and this is the direction I'm heading in. I don't want to stop. This is my training program to achieve a goal, or make it through the rest of my training journey to my event. So, as an athlete, we have a certain way we think because we have ourselves on a schedule to prepare ourselves. So,
Yeah.
keep that in mind as well, right? Okay.
Yes, and then you bring a great point that I want to elaborate on because a lot of my clients, what we do even before we start a training program
Mhm.
is have a plan. If something happens, here's some of the options that we may
Right.
have. If
Right.
you experience some of the common things like IT band or
Hmm.
some plantar fasciitis,
Right.
something that I know it's easily curable and treatable, then in the meantime, there's such thing as running in the pool,
Right.
pool
Right.
water running,
Right. Right.
doing the, like you said, that you were able to do the elliptical without
Right.
pain. So there are a lot of other options because I've found out a lot of athletes will stop. It's like, oh, I have pain in my knee, so I stopped everything
Right.
completely.
Right.
And they
Right.
even threw the whole training for a marathon or training for the race because of that injury. And what I'm saying is like, this is not going to stop us. We're going to have a little bit of a plan on what we're going to do
Right.
when
Right.
these things happen.
Well, and that's the key because there's always something you can do to keep a little bit on your training schedule, not lose your complete fitness. Now, granted, if you're really hurt or need surgery, you have to let the body recover, heal, and start again. Just
Absolutely.
have your plan put in place for when your body's capable of doing the things you really want to do. And I think that's the biggest thing that we can take away. Not only did we discuss the beauty of this experience in this event that Crystal and Victor were able to achieve their finish line, right? You have your medal, right? Did you get your
I have
medal?
the medal. Yes, I
Okay,
do.
we got to see that sometime soon.
Okay.
But we also segued into how to prepare for these kind of events and how to prepare for the goals you have, which they have some goals coming up in the next few months. Y'all, please let us know if you really want to do something like this. Anything you want to do, walk a 2 mile race around your church with your family. Call us if you have some unique, special things that go on in your body and your mind and in your heart and your spirit. We can help you with it. We can give you some encouragement and support, but also the technical, physical part of training is almost a sideline to the other things that go into you wanting to do
Yes.
something and getting there, right?
And count your cadence.
Yes, count your cadence. I've been counting my freestyle and backstroke
Yeah.
cadence when I do my interval swims, which I it's a lifesaver, y'all. And I couldn't count cadence when I was on the 5 mile walk and the knee started really bothering me. But I
Yeah.
was counting my cadence when I was run walking. It's
Yes.
so
And
cool.
I used to preach that only to improve people's times, but
Right,
now I
right,
say always count your cadence because it makes you more aware of your body and what it's
right,
doing because you're really segmenting exactly what's going on every step and really
right,
getting in tune because the whole book that I wrote, the rhythm
right, 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 right.
running, it's about really paying attention, being present to learning your body, listening to that rhythm. And once you try to get your cadence higher, you're also being more efficient. But I
Right,
think it's you're being more efficient also because you are paying attention to every step that you're taking
right.
and how it's reacting to that.
And I think that's a great point. Y'all, and running rhythm running, is it still available on Amazon?
It's still available on
Okay,
Amazon.
good, good.
I'm not sure if it's 99 cents, but pretty close. So
Okay,
take
good.
advantage of
Okay.
that. It'll change your life. Rhythm running.
It's good. It's
uh,
good, y'all. It's a good book. I want to know when I can get the hard copy because
Yeah,
I've
that's
been
gonna
reading
take
it
a
on
little
my
while.
emails.
There's a few things I have to do to get it going, but I'll let you know and I'll let our listeners know when
Right,
the hard
right.
copy is available.
It's good, and we'll address the next couple of chapters maybe sometime soon. But we want to dial into what we're all doing in the next few weeks. So stay in tune, y'all. And Victor, I'm so excited for you and Crystal to have achieved the goal and get across that finish line, regardless of what's on the clock. You did it. And I'm so excited.
Mm.
And the pictures, y'all, please go on and look for the pictures. They are absolutely beautiful. And it's an experience that that is very unique. one that will go down in the memory books, I'm sure, for both
Yeah.
Victor and Crystal. So I congratulate y'all for doing that. And
Yes.
anything else you want to say when we
No,
sign
I'm
off,
going
my
to go
friend?
ahead and try to put those
Okay.
on the description, get those pictures down.
Okay.
So hopefully, while you're watching this, when you're watching it, you're able to click
Yeah.
on the pictures and look at them. Other than that, I wish you good luck on your race. I hope you're recovered,
I do
Adele,
too.
that you were able to do that race.
I will. I'll be there, regardless of walking, running, or whatever. I will be there because I have to cross the finish line. Y'all, I got to get another medal. I usually I
Yes.
get three of them at one time. I bring it to my grandkids. So usually the two, the oldest one does it with us. He runs with Adam. They're seated. Adam gets seated because he runs, under 42 minutes, 41 minutes, whatever, without really training, but he's always in shape. Braylon will run with him under an hour is his goal this year, but pretty much running. And then me, and we've got all kinds of people coming to walk and have the experience. So, yeah, I'll be there. It's in about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. It's on April 4th, the day before Easter. Y'all have a wonderful week. I'd love to be back next week, and if we can, we'll record again on Tuesday. Have a recap of the race they're going to be running next week, and I'll let you know how I'm standing on my stuff. But the swimming and the biking and the elliptical are really keeping me, and my workouts are really keeping me on track. And the key points of nutrition are helping me with the inflammation issues that I may have if the knee does flare up. So thank you so much for that information, Crystal and Victor both. Y'all have a great week. We will see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.